level's okay?
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, I already started recording, so yeah, you're good.
Francis Battaglia, owner-operator, Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. There's a myriad of sources of business financing. While the financial crisis has decreased the availability of traditional business financing, many alternative types of financing have increased. There's a variety of reasons why businesses seek financing, like starting a new business, acquiring an existing business, buying out partners, expansion, working capital, capital expenditures, restructuring debt, marketing and advertising and research and development, amongst others. Financing is either traditional debt financing, typically through Federal Reserve System, banks, credit unions, or non-traditional alternative financing through other sources such as self-funding, borrowing from family and friends, accounts receivable, factoring, equipment financing, personal loans, unsecured lenders, credit cards, crowdfunding, retirement accounts, hard money lenders, bridge loan lenders, private money lenders, and angel investors. Here's an explanation of the many types of financing and their pros and cons. Traditional financing, again through the Federal Reserve System, typically banks or credit unions. Typically they're term loans for a certain period of time, usually 7 to 10 years at a certain interest rate, usually the prime rate plus a number of points depending on the loan's risk, with a loan origination fee, usually a couple of points. Banks and credit unions have lowered their risk tolerance, approving less loans, making them harder to get. Usually the loan needs to be significantly collateralized by hard assets such as real estate or equipment. Lenders want to see good business and personal credit scores. They also want a year or two of positive cash flowing, showing significant coverage to service the loan. They also want to see a fair amount of liquidity. Also, a personal guarantee is usually required. The Small Business Administration, SBA, offers government assistance to borrowers through a number of programs helping to obtain the loan. The loan is done through the bank or credit union, and the SBA guarantees most of the lender's loan, usually 90%, and the loan's collateral and cash flow requirements are generally less. This helps lenders make loans that themselves they couldn't make, and helps the borrower get a loan that they otherwise wouldn't get. There are a number of institutions that are preferred SBA lenders where they can approve the loan in-house as opposed to going through the SBA, expediting the process. Be careful in your ability to repay the loan, since lenders can come after your collateral and you personally. Because many businesses can't qualify for a term loan through a bank or credit union, they've turned to the many non-traditional alternative financing sources. Most startups and even existing businesses self-fund with their own money, or they borrow from family and friends. That could cause problems for the relationship if the money isn't repaid. It's a good idea to have written loan documents, even with family and friends, or even yourself if you're self-funding the business to get repaid. Existing businesses can factor their receivables with companies that specialize in that. They'll advance money based on the amount of your accounts receivable. The factor usually buys your receivables, gives you a percentage of their value, such as 80%. The fee is usually 3 to 5% of the total receivables. Business can borrow against their equipment, using the equipment as collateral. Companies specialize also in equipment financing. The amount of financing depends on the current market value of the equipment and your ability to repay. Businesses can also lease equipment, foregoing large capital expenditures, and hold on to the cash. Most factoring and equipment financing companies will look at your business credit and sometimes your personal credit score. Business owners can borrow against their personal assets, usually real estate, or get a personal loan based on their income and credit rating to loan to the business. There's also many unsecured lenders that will lend based on the business's revenues. They'll usually lend a small percentage, like 10% of the annual revenues. These loans are typically on a shorter term, usually 6 to 18 months, at a higher interest rate, upwards of 20 to 40%, with higher fees of 5 to 10%. Credit cards offer cash advances, usually a percentage of the credit line, and also similar higher interest rates and fees. Unsecured creditors don't require collateral. Crowdfunding is a newer source of financing. There's numerous crowdfunding sites that borrowers can appeal to investors who typically invest smaller amounts. It could take a while to raise the funds, if at all. Creditworthiness and collateral are not factors in crowdfunding. Businesses can roll over their 401k, IRA, or other retirement funds into their business. This isn't necessarily a loan. The business owner forms a C Corp, which sponsors a profit-sharing retirement plan. From there, the business owner uses the company retirement plan to buy shares in his own company, contributing to the company's finances. Hard money, private money, and bridge lenders are usually companies or individuals that lend money to higher risk companies, usually at a higher interest rate of 10 to 20% for shorter terms from 3 to 5 years, at higher fees of 3 to 5 points. They also usually want collateral and a personal guarantee. Angel investors are usually private sources from companies or individuals that invest their capital in startup companies with upside potential. They usually want an equity stake in the company and a share of the profits. They also usually want an exit strategy of 3 to 5 years to sell their stake back to the business owner. The fees and buyout costs are usually higher. Most angel investors want about a 30% return. As you can see, there's a variety of business financing sources. Before securing any financing, determine your actual financing needs and ability to repay. Sometimes the financing can cause more problems than the problem they were seeking to solve. There's also disreputable lenders preying on desperate business owners that need funding, that charge upfront fees and never deliver on the loan, or get you into a loan that's too costly and unsustainable, which could ruin your credit. Use caution and get professional advice. I wish you success in your financing acquisition and business. Let me know if I can help.